Where are you? Where are you right now, Tendi?
In the home. The connection
Oh,
in the home is.
yeah. IndieHome should be fired. IndieHome is such a terrible service. I don't know how people tolerate that.
I had upgrade the speed actually, but it's not much. What
No, no, they just have
maybe
terrible infrastructure.
I just want to change the provider.
Get Biznet. Biznet is the way to go. Biznet is always the way to go. I think since the beginning. Actually, here's a funny thing. You know how many times in America the internet fails me? I think once a year. Once a year, the internet doesn't go as planned. Every other day, I don't. It's like I don't even think about it. It's like air. It just works. That's okay. All
But
right. Anybody?
I got
That's an
the
advocacy
secret.
story.
Yeah, I got the secret why the internet in Indonesia is sometimes is like broken always.
Why? Why is
Uh,
it?
so when I install this net in my friend's home, so the technician cut off the old the not the other house
I bet
the
they
house
do.
cable
I bet they do
from the
the
router,
dumbest things in the world.
and then they install the new one to get the trigger from the so that's the house that already have the internet will be have a connection problem for like a hour, then they will put it again. So it's that's I think that's why we always have a complaint about the Wi-Fi connection.
Man. God. America has some good things, but America has some bad things. Okay, so here's the good thing: if you did that in America, you would get sued, right? And you would end up paying so much money, you would stop that practice as a company like IndieHome. So that makes sure that that kind of thing doesn't happen. But yeah, then the bad thing is because everyone gets sued, everyone's kind of afraid to say anything about anything. All right, let's populate this up. Let's see what do we got. What do we got? So everybody, let's get your stories up here. Wait, let's also. I'm gonna clear out the get partner story side, everyone, because this one has already been used. So this one is now empty. Let's update it with the March 18th. It's March 17th or 18th. It's March 17th. Okay, all right, March 17th in America and in Indonesia. Okay, identifying the advocate, distributing the story, distributing the story. Okay, let's go over to Kariz. Kariz, how you doing?
Very good, sir.
Fantastic. All right. Let's see. Kariz, I get kind of confused. Which funnel are you working in right now?
Employee?
You're employee funnel. You're for employee awareness, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. I saw with Gunny, so I thought maybe you were kind of also working on another segment. Okay, cool. Cool. Maintain the advocate. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at some stories, and also, Tendi, tell me, did we ever reach a conclusion on I think we're going to come up with instead of blogging, we're going to try another idea, right? Of maybe using the community expert outreach to get them to refer partners to us. Did that happen after the discussion that we had after the partnership meeting, Tendi?
Okay, yeah. So we had the existing property part. What's called community expert, right?
Hmm.
And then I had connect with the Eco for Pest, yeah, like usually. And then Pak Bagus actually is agree for
Okay.
that, but he want to see our article, not like the story that for
Okay.
post on their website. And then like a change, we also post in our website. Like that.
Okay. Great. I think that's a great opportunity. Does any of our existing property use Bagus's services?
Yep. Uh, last 2 weeks ago, I use I recommend Eco Fest for Pest for tortoise because there is
Great.
and yeah like that, and then we have the documentation as well.
Great. Why don't we do a co-branding opportunity? We tell the story about that particular property, and
Yeah.
we advertise Pak Bagus, and we advertise our services. We distribute it on our channels. Pak Bagus distributes on his channels, and it's a win-win.
Yep, that's good
Yep.
idea.
Okay. All right.
What do you think the language, sir? Is it Indonesian or English?
It
Do you think?
depends. It depends who is likely to be
Audience, yeah.
whose story who do you want to get, right, for that
Yeah,
particular story. Um, it could be for both. You could I could see that working really well, right?
yeah.
So let me actually share with everybody maybe what this looks like, right? Co-branding. I think Airbnb did it before. Let's see. Co-branding partnerships. What you're trying to do is this, Tendi. You need to create something that appeals to Bagus's audience. Do you know if his audience is mostly Bahasa Indonesia reading or English reading?
Pardon, sir?
Pak Bagus, does his audience
Yes.
normally are they going to
In
be English
Indonesian.
speakers or Indonesian speakers?
Ah, I think their client also mostly bule sorry bule foreign, sir. The owner, property owner from foreign as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. Then you can make a story in English, right? Here's how it
Yep.
goes. You can okay, here's the script. Here's how it would look like, right? Are you a property owner struggling with pest control? Do you need management that inspires delight?
Ah,
Let us tell you a
mm,
story of how Bukit Vista and EcoPest Friendly work together to positively transform one of our, partners, right? So this is Tortoise in when they first started. Years after they were doing really well, they got guests, but sooner or later, one of these reviews showed up and you showed a terrible review about bugs, okay? And this led to a decline in business and it was not so good. Well, what do? We got together with EcoPest, they solved their problems, and now the villa is back on the market and it's doing really well. This is an example of how Bukit Vista and our partners can actually work together to start a successful environment and community. So that can be sort of like the story of that particular script and share it. Our partners would probably like seeing that, and EcoPest would probably like seeing that. And since you've made a story that mentions both companies as heroes, then both companies would probably share it, right? So you get that co-branding double advocacy effect. Does that make sense, Denny?
yep.
Okay.
Yes,
All right.
that makes sense.
Let's try taking a look at that. There's let me share. Wait. Let me see if I can share this. Can I embed a video on YouTube?
Hero
Yeah. Can you embed a video on here? No. iframe code.
and
Wait. Maybe I can capture a web page. Wait, give me a second here. I'm gonna bring Miro to the next level. Let's see. Oh my God, I can! It's gonna be amazing. Okay, so hopefully this loads up. Back when I was at Airbnb, everybody, there was a lot of co-branding opportunities that Airbnb did with a lot of established brands, and it worked very, very well for both Airbnb and the brand. So I think this one is an example, but oh my God, that is what the heck is going on? Okay, I don't like this. What the devil? Before you continue to YouTube, okay, agree. Okay, it doesn't look like it's going to work, everyone. Sorry about that. All right, I'll just have to show you using a different way then. Okay, delete. Okay, that is deleted. Here, let me show you one of the things Airbnb did. KLM. Okay, so Airbnb at the time, they were trying to borrow advocates. So they got very clever about it. They said, okay, who can be a potential advocate? Well, airlines, because airlines see a lot of travelers. So these are some of the things that they did. What they did was this: they converted a KLM airplane in Holland into an Airbnb, right? So basically, they redid the interior, they tore out the seats, and they made it into like an apartment building. I hope you guys can see this here, right? This is an example of getting an advocate story, okay? So what was the benefit of this? The benefit for KLM was that Airbnb was a growing brand, and they could leverage Airbnb's growing audience to see KLM. And then, of course, Airbnb could also put their story on KLM sites and everything. So this is a pretty strong advocacy technique strategy that you can also apply, right? So don't just think about, okay, how do I get the story for myself, but how do I actually incorporate another person's story who also has an audience, and then we can share that story together through both of our channels. This is what is known as co-branding. Okay, so that can also be used many times. If you work in university partnerships, that's a possibility, right? So you can go, okay, maybe let's do a story about how President University and Bukit Vista work together to transform our interns, right? So President University could talk about their internship programs. We could talk about our internship programs. And then the interns that have been part of President University and Bukit Vista can actually have their profiles or their interviews taken and shared. Okay. So anyway, let's go ahead and take a look into what kind of stories we have. Let's jump into identifying the advocate over here. All right, we have a advocate, Mutia. All right, so what is this story, Aya?
Okay, so Mutia is our guest. She stay
Okay.
in Mevilla, and actually she don't really like have. I mean, we don't really have a lot communication through WhatsApp because we send the greeting message, morning message. She just answer like that's fine, that's okay. But she left really great review here,
Excellent.
and I choose this as a guest advocacy because she gives 5 stars review, also wording passionate. She
Mhm.
also mentioned the villa, which is our partner, and
Mhm.
she willing to come back. And I asked her to about her social media and to post her review, and she said yes, this you can post my review in your Instagram.
Okay, fantastic.
And the second one is we have Rani. Rani is our guest in Utara apartment.
Okay.
She also mentioned BV service. She said we give best service, and then she also willing to give her social media.
Okay, got it. Okay, interesting. Now, let's take a look at some of these advocates here. Let's actually ask ourselves a clear question. Are they actually an advocate of Bukit Vista? Are they advocate of their own experience? Let's go to Bila. Bila, what do you think it is? Are they a brand advocate or are they a something else?
Yeah, I don't think it's specifically emphasized on Bukit Vista, but it's more of like their experience there, and it's more like they're telling their story. So
Right,
yeah, I think that's a little bit different in a way.
right. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's go to Audison. Audison, what do you think?
I think we have discussed about it with Kak Dani before, and we managed to choose it because like it has a potential to be like become a story, sir. So
Hmm.
basically says they can advocate us, but we can convert them to advocate as a story
Okay, let's go over to
to the
Tendi.
people.
Tendi, you've seen a lot of reviews in your lifetime here. So, what do you think is the quality of this review in terms of its advocacy potential?
Hmm, I just read again, and then um, I think one word is missed is we will recommend you to stay like that. I think that's
Mm.
will be more like our advocate.
Okay, all right. This is actually an interesting point here. Do they mention the Bukit Vista brand in their story? Anybody? Do you see the Bukit Vista brand?
And Rani, she mentioned Bukit Vista.
Okay. Yes, that is good. Okay, Ronnie does actually mention Bukit Vista. Okay, that's good. What about Mutia? Did Mutia mention Bukit Vista?
Actually, no.
Right. Okay. And this is important, everybody, because what is a branded advocacy? Branded advocacy, you associate the particular experience with a brand. If you don't associate the experience with a brand, it is not that strong. Okay. It is simply like this. It's simply like just saying this place is great, but so is every other place that I say is great, right? It's not that Boca Vista is great. So in this particular thing, we are commoditized. Mutia's advocacy is what I would call a commodity advocacy. This could be said about any place, about any particular experience. Just it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, right? What you really want for somebody to actually advocate is two particular things. You want them to declare that you are unique, that you are valuable. Okay. That's kind of like the sense that you need to get from the particular advocate. That's how you know you have a strong advocate. Otherwise, you just have kind of like a, whatever. They don't mention a particular person in the company, all right? And she's just kind of saying the things, right? It's all about the things here. So it's kind of, think about it, right? Let's say for example about bakso. Okay, everyone's eat bakso. So what are you passionate about? What bakso company makes you feel very like alive? Makes you feel very excited? You know those companies, right? Maybe Bakmi GM or something, right? But is it when you talk about it? Do you talk about it with emotion, or do you talk about they have their noodles are spongy, they seem to give a lot of meat, they whatever. If it's broken down like component to component, then it's very commoditized. Okay, you're looking for an advocate that has an emotional connection, that has like a drive, that has passion. That then becomes an advocate. Okay, then because that story, remember, transforms another person to believe in the brand, to believe in the message. So in this particular case, I think Rani might be a little bit better, right? Because she does mention the company, so she is aware of the brand. Mutia it's a good commodity review, but it's not a strong advocate necessarily. Okay. Anybody else that, let's say, provides the same accommodations or services, Mutia would probably say the same thing about them, right? You want to be unique. You want to be a little bit distanced away. Okay, let's go to Bila. Bila, does that make sense to you? Or do you have anything else that you'd like to add to this particular idea about identifying a true advocate?
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you. And is it like from Mutia's side, is it private feedback? So it's only given to you, or is it
It's unfortunate. Yeah. Her private feedback is not seen. But here's the issue I have also with the private feedback, Bila. She doesn't say who you is, all right?
Mm,
So it's unpersonal. Okay? Think about this. When you receive a great experience, you kind of you would identify, you would label it with something, right? You'd be like, oh my god, I went into the Apple store, I accidentally did this to my computer and they repaired it. Apple repaired it for free. It would have cost me like $1,000 on my own. You associate that experience with a particular brand, but you don't say thank you for it, right? Because then that's kind of like, who is you, right? Does the you have an identity? Does the you have like a form? So in this particular case, it is good. It is genuine. It seems like Mutia wants to connect with us, but it's just we don't have a form. We don't have a brand. It's just like, okay, just kind of thank the open space, open space. So that's kind of like what we're looking for when we identify an advocate. We need somebody that's a bit strong, attached to the brand. All right, because the brand connotes this, everyone, that it will happen for the next guest too. That consistency. Okay, so if you say that, okay, it's because Bukit Vista did it, then next time I work with Bukit Vista, I can also expect a similar type experience. But if it's you or too direct, then it might not actually be a strong brand advocate yet. Okay, interesting. Let's take another look. We have some. Oh, Safira, yes, speak please. What do you got?
How about if she only mentioned about the property without Bukit Vista brand? Is it still not?
That means the property was more important than we were, right? So that is where we have failed, I think, to deliver an experience. Like imagine this. Imagine you are a restaurant, okay? And you sell a dinner, and the dinner has 5 courses, okay? You have a soup, salad, main course, a dessert, and a coffee. All people talk about is the dessert. Are you successful in your menu? Are you successful in your restaurant? the people only talk, that dessert was excellent. That's like Bukit Vista too, right? Because the property itself should just be a component of the experience. Okay, it should just be a part of the experience. Well, what about the time when I was doing reservations? Was the Bukit Vista person helpful there? What about the way the properties looked when I first saw them on Airbnb? Was that delightful, right? Did I get good experiences? Did I get good recommendations when I was staying there? Okay, did Bukit Vista actually engage with me, right? So if it's just the property itself, then essentially it's just like somebody who comes to your restaurant and said, you have good coffee, but you don't have a good restaurant, right? You don't have a good experience because you're not giving me an experience yet. So that's what I see when I see a advocacy for just the property alone. It means the property did its job, but we did not do our job. We did not deliver an experience that is memorable. Okay? Do you see the kind of like the difference? Yeah. This is also very important to remember, everyone. And maybe you don't know, or maybe you're not conscious of it. Why do we go to restaurants? Why do we really go to restaurants? Is it to eat? Well, we could eat for much cheaper at home, right? Restaurants generally charge you 3 times the cost of food. But why do you go? You go to have an experience. You go because they have, nice service, good furniture. Maybe they have good interior design. Maybe you can bring a date. Maybe you can bring your parents. Maybe you can bring a client and they would be impressed, right? Maybe they have a great location that's really accessible. But there's something about the restaurant where you pay 3 times more than the cost of food for the experience. And so if people only come and they say you have great food, but everything else is terrible, you really don't have you probably need to reduce your price then, right? To the point where you're just really selling food, but the rest of everything is not part of the plan. Okay. So similarly, that's how I would frame it. All right. So keep that in mind. The advocacy needs to be about the brand, about how does it feel. Here, let me kind of give you a example. So I'm not just speaking into the vacuum here. Okay. Maybe you guys have heard this brand before. It's a very ultra luxury elite brand. It's called Aman. I used to work at Aman. Okay. And here, we can kind of like take a look at that. You can feel the passion in the way this person describes their experience here, right? We stayed in Amanjiwo for 4 nights for a short break, and it was indeed the only break we had for the whole of 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So already this person is putting a lot of expectations in this particular experience that they're about to have, right? She talks about, oh, look, this is great. She tells a story, right? It took 8 hours to drive there. We were greeted by Jan Hess. The person has a name. We're not just greeted by a person at the door. We're not greeted by a no identity person. We were greeted by Jan Hess and others such as Pat Kurniadi and another nice lady. I could not recall the name, right? She feels guilty. She feels like they served her so well. They took such good care of her. She feels kind of like a little bit embarrassed that she couldn't remember the person's name, right? And we arrived at this time. She talks about the whole experience of Borobudur. Breakfast is complimentary, and they have this squash wash. So you see, it's really personal. She's felt a connection to the people that have created that experience, right? And she used the name Amanjiwo. So what you're seeing here is not just, it's a Maslow pyramid, Aya. It's not just the basic survival needs. It's the survival, it's the identity, it's the belonging, it's all that. And that is what makes a great advocate, because it goes back to the very beginning. That story. A great advocate tells a story that everybody wants to retell. Okay, that's how you know you have a good advocate. All right. Okay, I think we've beaten this to death. So let's move on. Tendi, what do we have here?
Oh, sorry, it's lagi.
Okay.
Oh, no, in the right side, sir?
You have a net promoter score graphic that you put here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I just read a video like about advocacy, and then how to measure one of what's called tools to measure the who is our advocate is.
Okay, I'll carry on with Tendi over there. I think he's experiencing some technical difficulties. Absolutely correct, Tendi. This is great framework. So everybody, please take a look at this. This is NPS. Anybody who is
or
working in the
10,
startup space or the retail
then
space. Oh, go ahead, Tendi.
sorry, I think that's lagging. Yeah, I think for the net promoter score, I think if we want to make sure that they are advocate, we can also ask like, hey, how do you think our service, or we can see the rating on the review as well. Like
Mhm.
if they give 5 stars, then I think we can consider them as a advocate or 9 or 10 like that. So we can use this as one of the tools to identify like that.
Okay, very good, very good. Tendi, I would say be careful about this because it is a little bit different about a review than promotion. Okay, review is how did you feel about the service? Okay, promotion is would you talk to anybody in a positive way about this? Okay, there are people who have great experiences, but they won't tell anybody else about it. Why? Maybe they just don't feel like it, or maybe they feel shy or whatever it could be. So you might have people who leave great reviews and maybe they don't promote. Okay. You might have people who leave great reviews and promote. That's great. That's where you're kind of drawing that linkage, right, between review quality and promotion quality. In general, yes, this is a good test to discover. The key test for discovery, for promotion, for advocacy is how likely are you going to recommend this product, this service to a friend, right? 10 is perfect. Yeah, I would recommend to all my friends. 1 is I would recommend nobody, right? So that then gives you kind of like the advocacy spectrum on this. And that's how you identify an advocate in an absolute way. Absolutely correct. But using the review score might not be a accurate way to associate. Okay. All right. Let's keep on moving. Tendi, you have a partnership. Oh wow! So somebody recommended their friend.
Yes, sir. So yeah, they identify and then also giving details information about the name of owner, and then the contact, and then the address. So we have a clear how clear what's called information to pass to business development like that. So
Excellent.
it's very
Excellent.
easy like that.
Okay,
I
that is
think that's
perfect.
also, yeah. And then the second one also, this owner is giving like 2 times already for the referral.
Uh-huh.
So he recommend us to Asri Village and then this is the new one. So I think
Okay.
he's the right advocate like that.
I hope we're doing good things to maintain his advocacy and to support him because if somebody is
Yep.
giving us this many referrals, that's incredible. That's actually really, really good. Okay, thank you, Tendi, for showing us that. That's actually a very visual example of what advocacy can look like. And you have some other cases up here with Nunga and whoops, what just happened there? My Miro has just disappeared, unfortunately. Question. Can everybody else see Miro or did it just disappear from me? You guys can see it. Okay. Mine has just vanished for some strange reason. I need to. I hope everybody would not be opposed if I just restarted Miro for really quick. Okay. So I'm going to fire that up again and hopefully everyone can see it. Okay. Let's take a quick look. All right. So hopefully that shows back up again. Oh, okay. All right. Good. So thank you everyone for your patience here. All right. We have 2 stories. Oh, Tendi, is this more advocate stories coming? Oh, Addison. Okay. Addison, please speak. Tell us a little bit about what this is.
Okay, hi everyone. Wait, where's mine? Okay, we get GMB review over here.
Uh-huh.
So for the wait, where is it? Wait, I'm gonna scroll it first.
I see
For
it.
the okay. For the identification, we think we need to assure like it must have like 5 stars review
Mhm.
on the GMB Google My Business, and make sure that the phrase is relevant to our company and it should be have a nice wording.
Yes.
And I previously I put the bottom, and but I got so much input from you from the previous Gayatri, so then I put another one above it, like
Okay.
to make a good
Very good.
comparison.
Very good. Very good.
Actually, the one below is the newest one, so we need to like put like the reviews like the newest one. But
Okay.
I think the older one is got so much better. For like example, it
Yeah.
has like it shows so much nice reviews about our service, our hospitality,
That's
and
right.
Pak Raka Susila says everything about us, I guess.
It is really
It's
good.
like, yeah,
Okay.
and that's I think about it. But I can consider Pak Nunggas Subawa also did a good job. He's not a bad person, of course. So I think the one above is like the specific example of
Excellent.
what
Excellent.
kind of reviews that we want. So
Yes.
the next plan that I'm going to ask Om Rafiq because he pretty much in charge of the whole negotiation to the one who reviews. So
Very good.
I'm giving like a specific format. So then next time Om Rafiq like make sure they don't type like the short version, the short sentence. So
Right.
they need like a longer version of the review
Right.
search.
Cindy, does that sound familiar to you? Did that sound like a similar problem you were facing?
Yeah, in the LinkedIn, I guess.
Right. So people were, before we gave them templates, people would write all kinds of things that maybe were too short, off topic, whatever. But then we gave them templates, what to focus on, what kind of things that they should talk about. And then the stories became more enriched, right? So in this particular case, I think we're experiencing the same issue again. Pat Nunga is keeping it a little bit too brief, maybe not on point. Pat Raka seems to really expand. And Aya, this is what we mean, right, by really strong advocacy, because you can read this and you can see and feel and understand what Bukit Vista is about. So it's not a commodity. It isn't like something that is just common to any property or any type of experience. It's very specific. It, in fact, sounds a little bit like our vision statement and our mission statement, right? And that is perfect. When somebody repeats the vision and mission, but is not actually part of the company, that's when you know that they've actually experienced the vision, the mission, the essence of what Bukit Vista does. Okay, Pat Nunga might have experienced it too, but he might not have had the words to actually express it. And so this is why Audison, using that template that Cindy and Bila have already made templates similarly, but for employee funnel, using that template to guide the person is super, super important. Rafik, God bless him, isn't a strong writer, right? But he can actually influence the partners to write according to a template. But Rafik would also need to understand the template, and he would also need to be able to coach the the potential advocate to write in a particular way. And this is only to get the kind of tone in the very beginning, everybody. Once people understand how to write, then they will just generally follow each other and say the same things because they can be mutually inspired. Yes, over to Tendi.
Okay, thank you, sir. But my question is maybe to addition as well. I think on Google My Business, the writer still can edit their review, right? Is it possible if we can give the right format and then they revise? I think that's also will affect all. And then for the future partner that want to read the review, they will see first, and then I think this is the format that is related or something. I think that will be
That sounds
more
like a
clear
pretty
for
good
the
idea.
future.
Audison, is that okay? Well, let's go to Audison first for the answer. Is it possible, Audison, for the Google My Business review to be changed or modified?
Of course, sir. I was actually did Google it, but either we need to like edit the reviews or delete it and then write it again.
Okay.
So that's actually a possible way.
Excellent. Okay.
So,
Listen up, everybody. There's a three-way correction here. So I think for Audison, let's go ahead and try to give the template over to Pat Nunga so that he can start writing in a format that actually is a fully fleshed out advocacy story, right? Good story. And then Tendi, do we have any guidelines right now in the partnership squad for how to template advocate stories?
We have the guideline, but from the awareness as well, it's only the point, the word, like the mention the Bali Film Management, blah blah, just a mentioning, but not a format like what the partners should tell like that,
Okay.
like more specific.
Cindy, this is where I think we can loop something in. Tendi, Cindy, would you guys mind having a sub discussion later? Okay. And then maybe Cindy can pass over the templates that we've already been created for employee and then transfer them over to partnership. Of course, you need to make some modifications, but I think the form of the story can be very similar. Okay. Does that sound like a good idea, Cindy, Tendi? This is exactly what chapters are good
Yes.
for cross-pollination. Okay. We've already invented it in one chapter, one funnel. Let's move it to use in the other funnel. Let's go to Aya. Aya, your thoughts.
I wanna ask her how we supposed to, especially for the guest or partner, to give the review, but it doesn't sound like sugarcoating.
Oh, that's
Doesn't
actually a good
sound like
point.
a template.
Right. I think it's really important to be authentic in this particular case, Aya, right? Let's take a look at between Raka and Patnunga. Patnunga, if he didn't have the same experience, then he should not write anything about it, right? He shouldn't put in things that are not true or accurate. That's not what we're asking. It's the work of a good interviewer. It's the work of a good reporter to be able to get the most relevant information. Okay. Why do you have a moderator in a webinar? Why do you have reporters? Because if you let the person just talk about their own story, sometimes they don't know what to say. They just talk about, oh, I guess it was good, but why was it good? Did you experience any moments of inspiration? Did you experience any delight? Did you do oh yeah, good thing you mentioned it because I didn't think about it before. That is the purpose of a template. That is the purpose of good reporting. Okay. So you don't want to sugarcoat things. You don't want to say things that never happened, because when you do that, then guess what? Your advocate has failed, because now people reading that will expect Bukit Vista will do all these things, right? That Bukit Vista doesn't do. That's not the point. The point is to turn Nunga's expression into like Raka's expression. If he could actually have thought of, oh yeah, that was the right moment. Oh yeah, that was the thing. So you're guiding them. You're not speaking for them. Just as Cindy does for the employee advocacy, we're not telling people to tell stories that never happened. That's not the point. That would be lying. That would be kind of pointless in a way. We're trying to get people to just put it in a way that they put together a story that actually touches upon core values, upon mission, upon vision, so that it has a form. Otherwise, people might just say, "Yeah, my internship was great. I got to work remote. That was fine with me. I enjoyed that." And it sounds like a commodity in this particular case, right? So yes. Okay, back to Tendi. It feels like English class here. All right, let's keep on going. All right, I'm glad you're
Okay, thank you
passionate
so
about
much.
it, everyone. I'm passionate about it too.
Yeah, as you said before that the person that have to be fill that service right first.
Yes.
I think that also can be the one of requirement that the advocate that we would like to choose is they have passed a period time or like a service
Yes.
so they can feel all like that.
Yes.
They can feel all, and then they can express more like that. I think.
Correct.
So
Yeah,
it can
you
be
don't
like a
want an
one
advocate
or
that
two
hasn't
months.
experienced anything yet, right? You want an
Yeah.
advocate that has actually had a full experience. Like Claire, for example, she's had 10 years of experience with us already. She has seen all the different things that we've done. So that is a full experience. If you have an advocate that only has 10 days of experience with you, then it's not the right time, right? But it also depends on context, right? So for, let's say, employees, maybe 6 months, a year, 2 years, that is the necessary time to actually get a good advocate, right? Guest, 2 days might be enough, right? Partners, maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, that could be fine for partners, right? So we do need to actually allow the story to marinate, to actually develop. Otherwise, you're not getting a real story. You're putting your words sugar coated into somebody else's mouth, and they don't believe it. You don't, and your guest won't believe it either, right? The next person won't believe it because it's not really coming from the heart. Okay, so it's really important that the story be real. Aya, does that make sense? Yeah. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. So very good questions. Very good questions. Let's go on and see the stories. Addison, I disagree a little bit with the way you've categorized this. This is not identifying the advocate. This is showing the advocate's story. Identifying the advocate is, how did you know Pak Raka? How did you know Pak Nunga would be advocates, right? What was your process for figuring out that they could be actually the right people to tell these stories? How long did you wait? How did you reach out to them? What was that process like? Okay. That then becomes the main sort of way that we identify advocates. Okay. So you are showing after you've identified the advocate and after they've told the story. But you can go ahead and go back there and tell us how you found them. Okay, we'll move on to the rest of the stories. So, all right, everybody, let's move on. Well, there's quite a lot of stories here. This is great, and they're all distributed to. Oh wow! Hey, look at me! I'm here. How many? Okay, wow. Oh my god. 404 likes. Wow, I didn't know. Okay, great. Okay, thank you, everyone. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these posts here. We have a Facebook optimization for partnership. That's interesting. We have a picture of, oh no, I did it again. What did I do? Stupid Miro. Okay, sorry, everyone. I'm gonna have to reload again. I think I have this stupid trackpad and I have no excuse. Okay, I'm just gonna reload. Okay, bear with me. All right, so yeah, I'm glad that entertains you, Bella. Yeah, laughing at my mistakes. Great. I'll laugh the next time you make a mistake too. I'm kidding. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. There's some guest. Let's take a look at guest advocacy. Aya, you have a story over here. Tell us more about guest advocacy that you see here, Aya. Oh, this is the same one, right? Aya, this is Rani.
Yeah, this Rani from Utara apartment.
Okay. All right. Good. And what about like Jan Yves Develu? He was the one that you was he the one that you mentioned? They talk about the property, but not about Bukit Vista.
No. I just this one from the Jan Yves below.
Okay.
Just my question.
Okay, got it. Okay, if everyone can take a look at Mr. Jan Yves Develo, that I don't know if I can see the entire review, but that is an example of maybe not so good advocacy. Okay, partial advocacy. So he talked about the property, but not about Bukit Vista. So at the end of the day, it's essentially it's like the property provided the entire experience, not we provided an experience. Okay, so this once again, it's like somebody complimenting you have a good dessert, but not like you have a good menu. So a little bit incomplete there. All right. Charisma, you have a story about yoga. This is amazing. All right. I work with yoga just before here. I'm happy to see that he's an advocate. Sometimes I'm like, how many times am I going to have to tell yoga these things? All right. Tell us what you got here, Charisma. Karis.
Okay, so basically, this is for an open recruitment one. We want to, because there's this prior discussion that we want to also put like the benefits that you get with the being an intern at Bukit Vista. So I put an emphasis here. I make it big that what does an intern actually get from Bukit Vista. And actually, from yoga, it was really long, like more than 4 sentences, and then I shortened it into only this because I want to emphasize the benefit that he got.
Excellent.
And yeah.
Okay, that is very, very good, Karis. I think you learned from our previous week's discussion, because if you put too much text on Instagram, it becomes hard to read. So you've taken that, you've personalized it, and you've shown a calling benefit, which is actually pretty cool. It's either a calling or a career benefit, right? It could be a career benefit. He's thinking about how the techniques that he learns is good. So it kind of ties to what Aya was doing before with guest. Okay. Now, when we're talking about advocate, we want actually this emotion to come across. For guest, did you meet unmet desires or unrecognized needs? Those are the highest forms of advocacy that you can get from a guest. How did Bukit Vista know that it was my birthday, right? How did they know that I would be alone and traveling by myself? And Bukit Vista recommended me all these places that I could go to feel a little bit less lonely and more connected to the local people where I traveled. right? Those are like the types of stories where you're meeting really high level Maslow needs. Same with here. So Aya, we experienced the same type of issue before in the employee funnel. The stories that people are telling, if they're too transactional, if there's too job oriented, then the kind of candidates that you attract are only going to come here because you offer a job, you offer pay, you offer, comfortable office chair, this, and that's it, right? But when you start tying stories that actually move people to see that this develops a career, that this pursues a purpose that they believe in, then you're getting a stronger type of advocacy. So it's the same story with the Mutia, right? Before. So Mutia was telling it was nice, meets expectations type guest, right? But it didn't really it didn't have that power, that punch that somebody who has really been delighted feels. Okay. So that's a similar case. Thank you. Actually, this is a really good improvement, and I think this is something that we can definitely share more of. All right, let's take a look at Facebook optimization for partnership. I think that is also part. Is that you, Kariz, as well?
Yeah, it's from Journey at BC Instagram.
Great,
So
great.
this is from Sister and Innovations.
Okay, great. And similarly, now you're showing essentially a thing, right? Here's my only question about this. Let's go to Bila. Bila, do you think that this particular screenshot really captures what Facebook optimization for partnership can be understood as?
I would say it's not specifically telling us what is that, but again, I think it's a matter of the resource that we have is that maybe telling the story, and then the full story is on the IGP video, and then it's like the snippet of it. I think it's kind of fine in a way, but
Okay.
maybe you can just put it on your caption on
Yeah.
more explanation. But what is it? Yeah.
This is where you have to make a choice in your storytelling, Karis, about what to zoom in on, for example. Okay. So you have only a very limited amount of frame space. What do you want to show? Do you really want to show like Febby and all these faces on the side? It's a little bit distracting because most people won't understand the context of that. You understand the context, that's a presentation. But most people looking at that will be, I don't understand why a webinar or a video call is Facebook optimization, because the Facebook part is really small. So I would just recommend that you could have a few choices here. You could use an icon, right? Just use Facebook, and then like a tool above it, right, to show that Facebook optimization happened, right? Because it's mainly just to get the idea across that this is the kind of work that you'll do. Or you could zoom in on that particular example and only show that, okay, without the rest of the talking heads on the sides, because most people reading Instagram who are not part of Bukit Vista won't understand that. It just becomes noise. Okay. That's how we can maybe enhance the story so that more people understand it. All right. Last one. Okay. This is interesting. So it's me. Is this Cindy or Bila that I have to? Okay. All right. Cindy, tell us a little bit more about this. It's my signature too. Wow, that's incredible.
But is it your signature? No, yeah.
No, but somebody
Yeah.
kind of made it. I like it. I actually like the besides my handsome face and everything. I do like the. No, why are you laughing? Shut up. Echo's laughing. It's true. All right. Anyway. Okay. No, the graphic design is actually pretty cool. It's very lightweight. But tell us more. Tell us more what you see here, Cindy.
Okay, so this is just an like a publication for the webinar, yesterday's webinar.
Mhm.
But I see that this is lacking in some kind of thing because they do not tag us, Journey TV or Bukit Vista. They also do not. They also do not give any hashtag. So the only way I can find it is I go to their Instagram and check their posts. So they
Yeah.
post, but we do not know it.
Right. So it's unfortunate in a way, right? So, who was asking about sugarcoating and not using template? Aya, do you see what we're talking about here, right? So by giving the advocate a template, please use a Bukit Vista hashtag. please tag Journey at BV. Then the advocacy message is stronger. Does it mean that we are introducing things that should not be there? Of course not, right? It is a Bukit Vista event, so there should be a Bukit Vista hashtag. It should be connected to our recruitment page, our employee experience page on Instagram. So there should have that. But you can see if you leave the advocate alone to just tell their own story, sometimes they don't tell the full story. And that then, loses the impact of the advocacy. Okay. So very important, I think. And the way to solve this, Cindy, is did we send a template to president beforehand asking them to do it a certain way?
No.
Maybe as part of your legacy, it would be nice to have a template for these things for the next e-talks and such, so that people don't need to make this mistake again. Look, whatever we do, let's try to fail in better ways each time. Okay, so we already know the mistakes here. Bila has something to say. Bila, what is it?
Yeah, I believe that this event especially is we are invited to be the speaker, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Cindy?
Yep.
Yeah, and this event is hosted by the President University. So I don't think that we can give specific template except
Let them say no.
what?
Let them say no.
Let the
Here.
yeah. I get what you
Listen up, everybody. This is important. This is important not just for today, but for your entire lives. Okay. I know all of you are very high potential, capable people here. Okay. And a lot of high potential, capable people, they don't get very far in life because they don't ask, right? They don't ask for, can you do this? Can you do that? And sometimes all you need to do is just ask and let the other person say no if they don't want to do it. Okay. That it's don't I just said this very same thing, right? Who was in the last chapter's meeting for conversion? I just told the exact same thing. We had a reservation person who felt that she should calling an owner at night to take a booking. Okay. I said, are you crazy? If somebody called me and said, I have money for you, right? That'd be the best kind of phone call I've ever got. I would say yes, right? Call me all day. Call me all day. Okay. Let them say no. Most owners will always, oh, that's a great idea. Thank you very much. But sometimes I understand. Maybe you're young, you're polite, whatever. You don't want to step on toes, whatever. But just ask, hey, would you be bothered if we suggested in promoting this event, could you use Bukit Vista hashtag and at Journey at BV? And they would probably say, oh, sure, why not? No, we're not going to let you do that, right? I don't see why that should be a problem. But don't make the decision for them. Let them say no, okay? That's one of the best advice that I ever got in my life. And I got many deals done that sometimes you get gigantic, when you get really lucky, how did you get so lucky? A lot of times it was just, you asked the question, right? Like, can I have $10 million? Sure, why not? Here you go. I was looking for somebody to actually invest in. I'm glad you asked, right? That's it? Yep, that's it. I just heard of that, actually. I was just at this investor meeting, and this guy, he was an investor. He became a billionaire by investing like $10 million, right? And the company became $1 billion. Snapchat, if you guys have heard of it, right? And also Stripe. But he just asked, do you need this money? And the other person was like, yeah, sure, I'll take it. And done. So don't forget, just let them say no, okay? Bila, Cindy, anybody working in external relations, just ask. If they say no, then okay, fine. But don't take away your own opportunity, because you never know. They might just say yes, okay? So Cindy, template and follow the let them say no. That's pretty much it, everybody. Okay, so advocacy, I think, is mostly right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's an adoption issue, Cindy, right, Bila? So we've talked a lot of good cases here. Just make sure we adopt a few summary points here, okay? So one, branded advocacy is always better. And also, upper Maslow pyramid experiences are always better than lower Maslow pyramid experiences. Upper Maslow pyramid means people feel very inspired delight. Lower Maslow is like, yeah, I survived. Everything was fine, I guess. It's, so focus on trying to get that as your advocate. Okay, Net Promoter Scores are very good tools that we can use to identify who's an advocate. Currently, we don't use it yet, but that's good theory to have in your mind if you want to look for an advocate. Okay. Remember also the difference between the advocate story and finding the advocate. In the first frame, tell us how you found the advocate. Tell us how you knew this person was going to be a good advocate. Okay. And for the stories, focus on once again getting a story that's very condensed into very, very fine point on Instagram, because on Instagram you can't see too much. It's just a moment, and by narrowing the quote, less is more on Instagram. Less is more. Okay, so try to get the visuals into one particular idea. All right, that's it. Have a good day, everyone. I'll catch you all later. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.